Hey everybody, welcome to the channel. This is my first go at anything like this, so it's not really a painting tutorial. It's more of a kind of follow along and check out what I'm doing here. And if any of this excites you, then go for it. Starting out with Illendari Violet. I'm gonna try to get a base coat down to this, and honestly, it didn't work as great as I wanted it to. I went ahead and base coated everything anyway in it, just so that I could basically make sure that everything had a good amount of purple, a real dark purple on it. I mean, this is like almost black purple, which is why I didn't show up super well over this. Now, if I would have done a zenithal highlight, it probably would have come out much better, but I didn't because of all the gold that I was going to do, and I wanted a nice black base. So here we're switching over to a mixture of the Elendari and Genestealer Cult from Games Workshop to lay down the actual mid-tone here. Just kind of take your time, make sure your paints are thinned down properly. So the biggest thing, to be honest, I had it a little too thin, I think, even because it was running down kind of into places that I didn't really want it to run down into, but it was fine. We went ahead and cleaned everything up afterward. Just going ahead, cleaning up spots, doing kind of mid-tone highlights, I guess you would say. I think I mixed in a little more Genestealer at this point. I don't think I did full Genestealer here. Yeah, we're just going through putting these highlights in, especially because his hand is facing up toward the sky. You don't really want a bunch of shadowy areas up there. Even between the fingers, I came back in and kind of blended in as much as I could that made sense in between the fingers and stuff up there. That's what we're doing here. You got all that light coming down on top of the hand. Yeah, we're going to come back in and blend some of that in, get rid of some of those super dark spots up top. The back of the hand is going to have a little bit more than what the top there in between the fingers is going to have. Just really want to pay attention to kind of where everything's coming down light wise. And I'm gonna move over here. I'm gonna head do the same thing to his face already. Gonna go ahead and put in the Uthuan gray is what I use for the like pupil areas in his eyes. And you don't want to use the smallest brush you have. You want to use kind of the best tip brush that you have. This one's kind of got like a little angle to it. It's kind of the sharpest one I currently have. Got some other brushes coming soon, so hopefully they'll be even better than this current one I'm using, which is actually I think it's a bomb wick from, oh God, I can't remember the name. Monument? Yeah, Monument brushes. They're good brushes. They hold up if you take care of them, but when I first got this set, I was not the best at taking care of my brushes. Let's just put it that way. So some of them got kind of messed up, and this is one of the better ones that I actually took care of properly. Coming back in, just gonna clean up some of the eye area, especially around his face there. You don't want big old blobs of Uthuan gray hanging out, making it look like his eyes are busting out of his head and cheekbones. You really want to take your time with the eyes, especially. It's a lot of people don't particularly care for doing them, but if you come in with the Uthuan gray or whatever color you choose for kind of the eyeball area, I usually like to do it right after I've done all of my midtones on the face, just so I can come back in and pretty easily clean the rest of the midtones up if I do get some gray on it and it's not all highlighted and blended up and whatnot. So you kind of see, I just kind of blocked them in so they look like eyeballs. I mean, it's not rocket science. Should make sure your Uthuan gray is fairly thin to begin with. You don't want to thin it down too much because then it runs everywhere. but you definitely don't want to put it on just straight out of the pot. I went ahead and did the other eyes. Yeah. The black dot in the middle is the more pain in the butt process. And kind of go about it the same way. Just a little bit of paint, get a little dot. Some people just put like a block of black or whatever in there, and then come back in and kind of round it out with more of the white. I find that more difficult than just trying to get a good little circle there off the top of the eye. I also went in and put some off-white in on his teeth and stuff, and I don't really think I even highlighted it or anything. I mean, not much to it. Starting out here with the armor. This is a mixture of Retributor armor and Hash Hut copper that I came up with. I tested it on a couple models with like 3 different base tones to see if it would look fine with a zenithal, so I could do the rest of the model with a highlight, and wasn't really a fan of the way it came out on a white or gray. It just wasn't reflective enough. I could have went back in and just painted everything black, I guess, but I didn't think it was worth it. So here's everything before we do any kind of wash on it. I decided to do an Agrex Earthshade wash over this. It came out the way that I wanted to look compared to doing the typical like Reichland Flesh Shade that makes it a real bright gold. I didn't want it to look like that, especially since we're going for like a more battle damage look. I kind of chunked in some of the armor bits here and there, and then you'll see the pictures at the end. So going through, showing off midtones. Yay, gold copper. Looks amazing, right? Yeah. Ooh, Thanos. Yep, going through Agrex Earthshade. I think I did 1 coat on quite a bit of it, and some of it I did 2. It just depends. Obviously, it just came down to what the shade looked like and what I wanted it to look like. So, not a huge deal. But personal preference, you know. A lot of people like that shiny gold look that Reichland Flesh Shade gives you. I prefer a more muted metallic look, so it doesn't look super, in my opinion, fake or model-y, I guess. I like the more realistic, kind of matted down, almost satin looking metals, because I suck at non-metallic metals. I've tried it once, not a fan. I didn't like the way that it turned out because I'm not good at it, because I've only done it once. And I usually don't like the way other people's non-metallic metals look. It's just personal preference. There's some really awesome looking artists out there who can do obviously fantastic things with NMM, but it's just it's not my cup of tea. Going through speed painting, blam. Get all this Agrex Earthshade on here. Yeah, buddy. No one wants to watch some nerd put a bunch of wash on an entire model for the entire time that it takes to do it and let it dry. Nobody has that time. Not even me. That's why I sped it up, because I don't want to talk about it for that long. It's pretty simple. Put some Earthshade on the brush. Put the brush on the model. Succeed at life with said shade. That's right. Here we go. Coming back, I'm going to put some more midtones in. It actually helped dull some of the midtones out with the Agrex Earthshade underneath of it after we did the wash. So it didn't come out like ridiculously shiny even after coming back and putting the highlight or the midtones back in. I was kind of worried about that. I hadn't tested that part, but it turned out pretty good. I was pretty happy with it. And if I didn't like it, I could always come back in and put some more shade over it if I really wanted. So who cares, right? Speed through this. It's all kind of standard stuff, you know. It's the same shade that we initially used. I mixed a good amount of it up so that I didn't run out on accident or anything. Practice. Just knowing what you're getting yourself into as far as how much paint to mix up for what's on the model and what needs it. So coming back in, I started doing kind of a mix of the Hash Hut Copper, Retributor Armor, and Genna's Gold, also from Games Workshop. Yeah, it's. I went through a couple different test runs of this to see how high I really wanted to highlight it up and what I wanted it to look like. I didn't want to do uber bright, just gaudy looking gold. So I tried to keep the again as gold as muted and kind of in check as much as I could, to say the least, sparingly. I think the most again as gold on the model is at the top of the head and probably kind of shoulder pad area on his armors, just because that's where the light's going to hit it and stuff. So yeah, you can come back in and see. Woo, shiny Thanos. I almost kept this black suit. It by the time I got done with all the armor and I had the black suit, I thought, do I just stick with black and do like a cool black scale, like grayscale suit? And then kind of tested it out and realized that I kind of suck at grayscale. It's something I need to practice. And it just didn't turn out well when I was practicing and testing it out on some other stuff. So it's definitely something I need to practice with, and kind of already have a ton of black suited models already. I mean, you got Black Widow, the two of them. Hawkeye, for the most part, seems to be black, even though I don't have him yet. Venom, Crossbones. Who else? Who else is up there that's all black? We got the Red Skull. Red Skull's all black. Here we go. We're highlighting up everything on the gauntlet, making it all nice and shiny because, gauntlets are shiny. This was before I decided to go in and put a bunch of battle damage in. I kind of wanted to, and then I kind of chickened out. Took a bunch of pictures, showed it off, and then I thought, man, I like the way this looks. It looks really clean. I don't think I want to follow through with putting all this battle damage onto it. So I chickened out, and then I came back and put a bunch of battle damage on it. You'll see that in the pictures at the end as well. Showing off Thanos' shiny head. I didn't want to go with the suit coming up and looking like it's like stretched over his head. I don't know. I don't know. Certain things make me not interested in doing things like that. I think it looks odd to have his jumpsuit color come up over his helmet and tie in, but whatever. I didn't create the character, but I'm painting this one, so that's the way I did it. I did it all gold, baby. All right, so we're gonna come in more Uthun gray, get it in here on where these gems are gonna be, because gems need to be reflective, right? So I need to get a nice gray and then white over the top of that for a base coat to do all your gem colors. I did this part on camera, obviously, but I did the gems off camera because I had not tested any of the colors before. So I started testing stuff off camera, and then I liked the way things were looking. So then I just kind of rolled into it, and I forgot to turn the camera on. I'll be completely honest with that. So you get to see the end result, though. I did put that in there. I remembered that because I got to the end and I went, oh no, I didn't get any of this on camera. I am a bad YouTuber. And do I really count as a YouTuber? This is like one of the first things I've done other than some battle reports. So, all right, we got all our white on and stuff. Got a little sloppy with it. It's whatever. Here we go. Boom, look at that. Colors on. Did a little white in there. I even came back afterward and cleaned that up. But so we're starting out with Ultra Blue on the wonderful Thanos bodysuit. As much as I love Ultra Blue, this was even a little dark for what we're doing here. I wanted the suit to be more navy blue and not be super highlighted up like a lot of other people are doing. I was trying to make him look more uh, MCU like colorway, I guess. And you can see I was just trying to show it's not really doing much with just the Holder blue. So we came in, put some Arian Horde blue from scale 75 as well with the Holder blue, and just kind of punched it up just a little bit to get a decent looking color down as a base coat. And then I actually went back in and shadowed in some spots with Holder blue afterward. We've got all the copper in the recesses here. We're going through cleaning stuff up with the blue here. It's the same mixture as our midtone, same kind of idea as what we did with like the purple and stuff. So that's what we're doing, going through, cleaning stuff up, making it look good so that when we can come back in with our highlight, it looks even better. Like I said, we're trying to keep this more of a navy blue tone and accent that gold really well. Coming back in, doing some a little bit of mid-tone highlighting. I mixed up a little bit of Arian Hot blue, the Holder blue, and Amaranth blue, all three from scale 75. Pretty interesting, honestly. I wasn't sure how much we could get out of the Holder blue, but it definitely helped tie everything together and punch it up enough to give some good shadowing in there in those recesses with his bulging muscles, and came back in and did just a mixture of Arian Hot blue and Amaranth blue for the final here. I think I might have actually mixed in a little bit of a gray as well. No, you know what? No, I didn't. I did not. It's just Arian Horde and Amaranth blue. Came out really nice actually. It's just want to pick out all these fine kind of detail areas where the light's going to come down and kind of smash into the highest points here, especially with your final highlight, which is what I chose to do here. Just kind of not super level up, but I did these and then I came back in off screen and did some more blending between the shadows and the midtones to kind of help tie everything together even a little more so. And then came in and blended some of these final highlight spots. You don't really pick and choose though. You don't want too much of it to pop, but then you don't want too little either, because you want the highlights and light to shine and show where those spots are. So pick out your recesses, kind of determine beforehand, and flip the model around and look at all the different angles that you need to where the light's going to hit stuff, and then you just kind of have to go with it. I mean, there's a lot of people that they'll just highlight up stuff where it looks. But so here's before I started and went back and blended everything. It looks good, but it definitely looked better after I got done blending, especially on the leg parts. Those leg recesses were a pain in the butt. I mean, absolute pain. They were the worst part of doing this whole model. Like his torso and stuff was fine, but man, blending all the blues down there and making it not look kind of ridiculous with too much dark areas was super difficult. I'm not gonna lie. But there you go. So I blended some more here. I think I came back and blended even more after this, honestly. after I got his base done. I did all that off screen too. It was a bunch of trial and error, and took me forever. This was like a week apart from each other, so I finally got the base done. I finally got his throne done. You'll see that here coming up in the pictures. So there we go. There's a close up of the stones, gems, whichever you'd like to call them. Boom. Here's some nice pictures. It looks much better in pictures. Yeah, I came back in and blended some more of those blues up, and you can definitely tell. If you guys have any questions, don't be afraid to ask below. For the most part, I remember all the colors that I used and how I did certain things, but if you got any questions, leave them below and I will get back with you. Don't worry. This is the first piece of terrain that I actually fully painted from this game. I've still yet to paint any of the core set stuff, and I'm probably not buying any more because I don't get to paint terrain very often. But yeah, turned out pretty good. I was digging how this turned out. Alright, thanks for watching, guys and gals. Appreciate it. Don't forget to leave a like, share, and subscribe if you could. We'll catch y'all later.